Welcome back to the workshop, world builders! Today we are going to be building a sea creature as inspired by the novel we read in our last tavern episode, which was Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. Christiana is going to be leading us through our world building exercise today. So without further ado, I pass the power to Christiana.
Thank you. I will take both the crown and scepter and wield them recklessly.
Oh no! My many glass breakables!
Say goodbye. So, as always, these questions can be rearranged. We can think about one and flip to the next one, and we could go back and forth. But I think the first question is very basic, very clear. We're thinking of sea creatures. What kind of beings are these sea creatures? Are they biological, spiritual, divine, something in between? Just physically, what kind of creatures are these in the sea?
I mean, I love that that's a question because I hadn't even considered that. I was like, well, obviously it's like an animal,
that's what
but
I
you're
was
right.
thinking.
It doesn't have to be, which is,
Yeah.
I kind of, when you listed the things, I'm kind of like, divine sounds fun.
I mean, divine
Yes.
is very related to the novel we just read.
That's what I was
too.
thinking. With
It's
Skin of the
true.
Sea,
Yeah.
it could be a god.
Maybe
It
some
could
kind of
be
deity.
a whale. It could be anything.
God whale.
I love, it could be a
Done.
god,
God
whale.
whale.
Yes,
We
exactly.
can
God
end the
whale.
episode
God
here.
whale. God whale.
It's a god whale,
We're done.
and we're done. Goodbye.
All right, let's do some kind of divine thing.
Divine?
Something.
Creature.
Okay, I like the idea of divine
Yes.
as well. This is sort of an aside. Since we're picking divine, have you guys seen The Abyss? It's a movie.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my god, you haven't seen The Abyss? That's like a sci-fi classic. Aliens under the sea and like very, very deep under the sea, but they're almost like godlike aliens. Very crazy. They've been like surveilling mankind. So I was thinking of The Abyss when I asked that because that's a weirdly formative movie for me. Anyways, so the divine, is it like a literal divine, like an Orisha, or is it more like aliens under the sea, like The Abyss, or is it like a floating little energy ball? Is it just like a light seeping out of the Marianas Trench? Like what kind of
I
divine
want
are
it
we
to
thinking?
be monstrous, kind of. So some
Monstrous.
sort of
Like a
like
Cthulhu.
creature. Yeah, like divine plus biological, maybe.
Divine, biological.
Divine,
Yeah.
a divine
I'm
biological creature.
I'm serious about whale too. It could be something whalish.
I am also
Yes.
serious about whale. I love the idea, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see
we'll see what
perhaps where the
happens.
questions
I
lead us.
like the idea of whale just because I don't know if I've shared this before. Fun fact, I am terrified of whales.
Ooh.
Like I probably
Oh.
once a week have a nightmare about whales.
You don't live
like,
in
I'm-
a great place to be terrified of.
I know. I
whales.
live on an island in the ocean that is
Yeah.
famous for its whale watching.
You were born in the prairies, which is notoriously the safest place
Yeah.
for
The
whales,
safest
and you
place
moved
for
closer
whales.
to the
Exactly.
whales.
No, I can pinpoint it actually precisely. There's two instances. One where I was canoeing in Manitoba, and as we were canoeing, we saw one of the giant lake sturgeons, which are huge.
Oh.
And I was a child, and it just moved. I thought it was a log underwater, and then it moved. That scared me. And then I kind of got over it. And then we did a road trip to the East Coast, and we went on a whale watching tour, and I was looking over the edge of the boat thinking, where are the whales? And then one just from like the depth, just slowly you can kind of see an image appearing, and then it jumped up, and it scared me endlessly. And also Castaway. Castaway is horrible. You know that scene where he's on the raft? And the whale comes
and
up?
he
Seen
sees
it.
a whale. Yeah, but it doesn't harm him. It
I know,
is-
but it rolls over and its eyeball is so small for its body. I hate it.
Oh. That's
I hate it
fair,
so
that's
much.
fair. All right.
Anyways, whales freak me out, but I'm
Well,
happy to do a
perfect.
whale.
So like
which-
monster whale then fits because we want it to be
Monster.
serious.
Yeah, I was going to say, the next question is, what do their bodies look like? And how are they shaped by the depth,
Whales.
pressure, darkness, or currents? So I think we're doing a giant, terrifying whale.
Yeah.
That will probably give me nightmares tonight. That one feels pretty
no.
set in stone.
I love the idea, if they're divine whales, I love the idea of it being like a whale for each of the like 7 seas. Like it's the god of that particular sea, and then maybe they each look different
Ooh, I
according
like that.
to like which one they're in.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm gonna get dorky. There's like technically more than 7 seas, but we'll say for each.
Yeah, but in fantasy,
in
that's
fantasy, it's the 7 seas.
I mean, also in fantasy, there could be any number
But
of
7
seas,
is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
magical number, so.
7 sounds
Yes.
nice in our mouths. Okay, so 7 whales for the 7 seas. So whale for each sea. I like this idea.
Yeah.
How did they come into existence? Were they created?
Is that the third question?
Evolved? Yes, this is the third question.
Okay.
So how did they come
Okay.
into existence? Creation, transformation,
actually.
evolution, punishment, or by choice, maybe?
I always love sort of a magic forming itself, like kind of like the seas had their own sort of like divinity or something, and then they just like manifested itself as these whales. Could be one option.
To generally try not to butt in too much when I'm hosting the world building, but if we're going with this idea of the whales kind of being created from each sea, I like the idea of like the first sailor to die in the sea becomes the whale.
I was thinking that
It's
too.
like-
I was like, maybe something about
Interesting.
somewhat the whale, what used to be human, turning it. Although I do really like just a spirit of a thing. Like that's a very Japanese Studio Ghibli type fantasy world building, you know, where it's just like this ocean. This is the spirit of the ocean, and it can
Like the
become
first spirit
corrupt or
claimed
good.
by the sea.
It can be good or corrupt
Could
depending
also be
on
space whales.
Oh, I love space whales.
It could be space whales. An
could be
alien ship
alien
crash
whales
lands in the
that-
Indian Ocean, and now
And
we
there were
have
7 whales. Somebody released an invasive species into the
Oh
ocean.
no,
if there's-
invasive
Had no natural
space
predators,
whales.
so now
The
it's
worst.
huge.
Yeah.
I think if there's going to be
Invasive space
7
whales.
of them, it makes more sense that they are just the spirits of the ocean or something.
Yes, but how did those spirits
Yeah, like they all
come
kind of
to be?
arose at the same time.
Like they just kind of came into existence at the same time as the rest of the world,
same time
or
as the oceans did. Yeah. So
So
I mean,
they're like-
Or it could be like, if we have a not to get too much into the mythology, but we're kind of, doing divine, so the mythology's there a little bit, but like there could be like, one god that's like, head of the gods, or like the kind of like the supreme creator in Skin of the Sea, who maybe like gave each of the whales a sea as like the guardians, like bestowed on them. It was like,
Yes.
here, you guard this sea or something like that.
I wonder if the whales could be good or evil depending on the actions of the humans, or like maybe if the humans pollute a sea, the whale is
Okay, I like that. The idea of they kind of came into being based off of whatever higher god. We'll leave that out of this
Yeah.
workshop because that feels a lot
Okay.
big. But they were kind of like put into being by this larger god
Yeah.
or divine.
So they're
thing.
kind of like demigods, sort of, or like
divine
guardians
of the sea. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of ecological themes you could have with a story like with this, because
totally. Yeah.
They're guarding the sea, and then what happens if things happen to the sea that it can't protect the sea from, or maybe it does. Maybe
Yep.
it like violently starts eating any sailors.
Yep.
Yeah. Or it starts knocking
Yep.
down oil
Or
platforms.
what happens if you kill one of them, right? Like, what if someone hunts one of them and manages to
Ooh.
kill it, and then what happens to your sea?
Okay, that answers question 5, which was what role do they play in the ocean's balance? So we know that they're guardians.
Oh. Okay.
They were...
Oh, hold on. I might have missed a question. I've got, what kind of beings are these creatures? What do they look like? How did they come into existence? What was question 4?
So we haven't got there yet.
Oh, or do we just
I'm
skip
just
ahead?
saying
Oh, okay, so you're just saying it answers 5. Gotcha.
ahead of time it
Sorry.
answers question 5. No, all good.
Perfect.
So now I think we can kind of get into this mythology a little bit more with the next question 4, which is, how do they move, breathe, feed, and survive in their ocean environment?
I think
So are
The
they
healthy,
feeding off of
happy
lost
spirits.
souls, or
the healthy ones of a healthy ocean that hasn't been polluted are just kind of like regular whales. You know, they just
feeding on krill?
Yeah. And the
Okay.
unhealthy, unhappy spirits are eating people and destroying ships and oil rigs and stuff.
Yeah. I like that idea. Maybe the balance is
I kind
like...
of wanted them to be a little bit... Oh, sorry, go.
Nope, you go ahead.
Oh, maybe the good ones are a little bit more magical?
Yeah, like I kind of want there to be a little bit more to our whales than
that's
just
fair.
being regular whales.
What do the good version of the spirits do?
I feel like maybe they could feed off of the energy and health of the ocean. So, like, if it's a well cared for ocean with a lot of life, everyone, I'm thinking of, do you remember, like, the picture books as a kid, like Rainbow Fish, where he had all these sparkly scales and he kind of, like, all the sea creatures in a healthy ocean understand that they give away, like, just a tiny, tiny little, like, 0.1% of their life force to keep the whale happy and everyone's happy. But in a polluted ocean, when it's, kill or be killed, no one's giving that, and the whale is forced into that as well.
Do they interact with people at all? Like, if you spy
I
a
think
whale,
they would.
you get good luck or something? Or they guard ships or something?
Yeah, I feel like in the happy oceans, the whales would guide fishermen and other folks. Like, they could provide safe voyage, so to speak.
People
But if
lost
it's an
in a
unhappy
storm,
whale,
maybe they'll rescue.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas if it's an unhappy whale, it's like always rough seas.
Yeah.
Absolutely chock full of sharks.
I wonder, are the whales, do you think they're territorial, like, to the other whales? Like, if one of them goes into the other whale's space, are they, like, fighting over, this is my sea, go back to your own sea?
I think that would depend if they're happy or angry whales. Like, depending on the health of their sea. Because I think it would be interesting to have, like, I'm thinking of our current Earth, not saying that this has to exist on our current Earth. Like, if I was the whale of the Arctic Sea, I'd be real pissed about climate change and the melting ice sheets and everything like that. I might be a little aggro.
Would you take that out on other whales, though? Or would that just mostly be on people?
I feel like I would corrupt everyone around me. People, whales.
I imagine they don't interact with each other much, though. 'Cause oceans are pretty big.
Famously, oceans are rather large.
They are.
I think that they would move by, like, swimming, but do we think they can also maybe, like, turn into water or something? Or just, like, move with the currents?
Are they the currents? Do they control the currents?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think that they are kind of, like, in charge of their area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Because then evil whales could make whirlpools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whirlpools, storms, draw ships into rocky areas.
Okay, I think what might help us with this kind of discussion of what makes a good whale and what makes a bad whale, what rules, instincts, or laws govern their behavior?
Well, I think they put the sea first. Like, that's because that's their
like the health
job, right? Is like their
of the sea.
Like in general, like it's like the sea, yeah, like the sea and the sea creatures and stuff come first. So it's like, well, if there's a person drowning in the sea, they're probably not that concerned about it.
Like
or
a
maybe
healthy...
they might help someone, but they're not gonna like risk the life of a dolphin to save a person.
They want a healthy
right? Like, the
ocean
sea is what they're...
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. So they're trying to just keep the seas healthy, happy, everything like that. They might intervene with human activities if they are in a very happy ocean and they have time and they see fit. But that's their main goal, which leads me to the next question. So if their kind of rule is to keep their ocean happy, what happens when one of them breaks those rules?
Well, I have
Like
a
in Skin
question.
of the
Are
Sea.
these whales sort of sentient in a human way, or are they more of a animal instinct type of creature, you know?
I think if they're divine, they would be sentient in a godlike way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Where gods, you know how, like...
Yeah, although...
gods are kind of... like, they're sentient like people, but they see so much bigger than the average person. Like, they're elevated human sentience to some extent. But I welcome
kind of,
challenges on that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking them of more as being like nature spirit sort of divinity, like, so not necessarily sentient. Which, like, I mean, they totally can be. That was just how I had pictured them.
I was more picturing them like Emma.
Okay, so, like, how would you describe, like, nature sentience?
An embodiment of the ocean and its status. So, like, if the ocean is healthy and happy, the whale is too.
I wonder if they could almost be, like, if we have this kind of idea that they're connected to, like, this higher power, god, or whatever. Maybe they're almost like barometers for, like, how the ocean is doing. Like, they, like, manifest the like, so that the god can easily see, oh yeah, this ocean's doing great. And it's like, oh my goodness, this whale has, like, 2 tails and is eating people. This ocean needs help or something. Like, maybe they're almost like weather vanes for, like, how the ocean is doing.
Okay, I like that. But with the idea of sentience, like, could they have a conversation with an intrepid hero, for example? Or no?
I'm imagining sort of if you were to try and communicate with this spirit, it would be able to communicate really broad ideas or like images, but not really a conversation like you would have with another.
But, like, people would be able to pick up if it's, like, angry or something.
Yeah, like emotions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that actually sounds very similar. There's a point in this is the second time I'm bringing up Animorphs in our recording today, but in one of the Animorphs books they come across a whale, and the whale basically does that. It, like, communicates in pictures and thoughts of this, and, like, has that idea of, like, its mind being so vast, but it, like, can kind of, like, project mental pictures into their minds. Which feels very whale-like for some reason. Like, that seems
or emotions
correct for some reason.
Emotions or pain, that kind of thing you could sort of project to someone. Like, this is what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. Oh, or do they communicate through the weather? Like, is that their, like, if the whale is doing good, the weather is good? Like, maybe is that more a direct tie to their emotional state? Or something?
Well, I think if they can control the currents, certainly that would be.
Yeah.
Because the currents do, to some extent, control the weather. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. Let's get a meteorologist on the pod. But I'm fairly certain that the currents,
and a whaleologist.
to some extent. I need a whaleologist stat.
A whale. That's a great word. I don't know if it's real, but it's fun to
doubt
say.
it.
It's not real.
It's not real.
I just made that up, but that's what the main god of this world is. The whaleologist.
Apparently it's cetology.
Oh, like cetaceans. That makes sense.
Also, no. also known as whaleology. So it is
really? Oh.
yeah,
That's
apparently.
I am so
love it.
smart.
That's great.
Oh my god.
So I would say these whales are more ruled by instinct than they are by
Yeah.
a deity telling them to do something or not do it,
Okay. So the deity
Yeah.
kind of put them
Very cool.
there as to be like, you keep these things safe, but didn't grant them like any sort of like major godlike abilities or anything like that. They can control the currents to some extent, but it's largely instinctual, kind of based off of general health of the ecosystem sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're still kind of on the question of like, what happens when one of them breaks those rules? Would one of them break those rules? I guess if the ocean was so unhealthy.
It's not really them breaking the rule. It's the ocean becoming unhealthy because of people. Yeah.
Yeah. It could almost be like it's less about like them being the guardian of the sea and more of the god being like, you better watch after these whales, people.
Yeah.
And if you don't, they're going to destroy
Here's how
your
you know.
homes because
Yeah.
they'll be mad.
Like
yeah.
the whales,
Like it's
if
like
the
a-
whales they're the symbol of the sea's health more to the people than to the god. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the god put them there to inform the people
Yeah,
of their actions.
and to punish them for their
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah. That could actually be a really fun mythology of like the sea god used to just like smite people without warning, and the people were like, this isn't fair, we need to know when we're doing bad. And he's like, okay, have a signal whale. Now you'll know before you get smitten that
Yeah.
you were messing up.
I like that. So my next question was going to be, what powers, if any, do they possess, and what the costs or limitations of those powers are?
Well, we've already decided they can control
I was gonna say, we kind of-
currents and a bit of weather
Yeah.
to some extent.
What if they can like fly?
Flying whales! Space
Fly.
whales! We're back to space whales.
I don't know.
Like
what if
flying
they, like,
fish, like they when
out
they
of-
breach, they
Yeah,
go like
like if
100
they
meters.
just-
They could just torpedo,
How
just
terrifying would
fly
that
up
be?
and just like torpedo a ship with their whole body.
Yeah.
That's why I'm scared of
In-
whales. The concept of that is haunting.
Incoming. And
Yeah.
it's,
It's a
imagine
whole
looking
whale.
out of your apartment and there's a whale flying at you. Yeah,
Exactly.
What are we doing to Christiana?
horrifying.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
it's my worst nightmare.
We're
Yeah.
building Christiana's nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly.
I kind of maybe not flying, but I kind of want them to have another thing but I don't know what it is.
Well, I feel like if they can control the currents, they can just like suck you into a whirlpool or something.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Or they could also like recede the tide or something like that, and then it's like beaching ships, or like, well, now you can't access the water. Or maybe they can control like the salinity of it and be like, now your water's gonna be real salty and you don't have any fresh water anymore or something. Like maybe they
Oh,
can
I
kind of
like
control
that.
all that.
For
like,
like
stuff.
punishing a town kind of thing. Like imagine you live on a town and you've been like dumping raw sewage and like whatever random things into the sea, and the whale of your ocean is just like, I think not. And just like recedes the ocean back by
Yeah.
however much.
Or throws it back at you like a tidal wave of
Oh,
sewage. 'Cause
yeah,
it's just, like,
tidal
sending
wave.
it all back.
I like
Love
that.
tidal
Okay.
waves. What about something more mystical, like when the whale sleeps, people nearby share its dreams, or something more spiritual, you know?
Whale dreams.
I don't know.
Is that why I have nightmares about whales
creates-
all
Yeah.
the time?
Yes.
All of
Yes,
this
it
is a very
You're picking
Vancouver
up
Island
on the
thing,
nearby
but
whales.
yeah, all of J-Pod and the One to Fuca Strait are upset, and I'm picking up on it.
And you're picking up their,
I'm picking up
or
all
like
of
if they
the
can create
orcas'
fog
upsetness.
or
Yeah.
something.
Fog would be good too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Like there's
would
something
be
about like
within-
a haunting whale call coming through fog is like very
Ooh.
eerie.
Yeah, I hate that.
But I don't know what that would
I
accomplish.
love it. Yeah. But it genuinely, okay, that's another thing about living on Vancouver Island. The fog can be genuinely prohibitive to your day-to-day life when it's thick enough. Like when it rolls in, it's crazy sometimes. Like you
yeah,
can't
and I feel like
see
the
10 feet in front of
whales
you.
would be able to control like the fog and like rain even. Like could the whales? I think they could cause a drought. Like because rain is part of the like water
with the currents
cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna say
I feel like that would be under
weather.
their jurisdiction.
Yeah, weather.
I feel like
All
weather.
the weathers, the whales. Yeah, although I do like the idea of there being another mystical thing, like Allison.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
something that makes
don't
it
know-
more divine. You know,
I
what
like
mean?
the idea of being able to Aquaman style call like sea life to
Sea
themselves.
life. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you want to feed
Mm.
yourself? Good luck when all the sea life are way off the coast. You want to get them? Come into this storm in a whirlpool.
Yeah, like what is it, the elder dragons in How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3, where there's like, or is this also in the first one, I think, the really big dragon that like can summon all of the other dragons, and like that's a little bit more
Yeah.
nefarious because I think he's like eating them,
But
but like kind of that
the
idea
whale
of like all
could
of the
be
smaller
like,
sea creatures.
You're polluting the ocean, so I'm gonna draw all the fish away from the fishermen, the fisher
Yeah.
people, so that they don't get anything, you know?
I like that idea.
Yeah. So like can control or communicate with sea creatures.
Yeah, that and like with the weather and other things, I feel like that's also pretty divine.
Yeah.
Right? Like they could call upon
Oh yeah.
whatever greater power to kind of I'm not going to say control the weather to such an extent where it's like 7-year drought or anything, but it's like
Yeah.
you're about to get hit with a tidal wave, like get
Yeah.
ready.
you throw a can in the ocean and a whale strikes you with lightning. It's so funny.
I imagine someone this is maybe a little gross. Like someone like wading out on the beach and being like, I'm just gonna pee in the ocean, and then it's just a whale comes up and like swallows you whole. Like I think not.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I love it. I love
Do you
whales.
think they
controlling the
have
weather. That's great.
physical bodies, or are they more ghostly?
Good question.
I've been envisioning physical bodies.
I have been also.
I have also been envisioning, yeah, but like or if they can kind of go back and forth, like if they can take physical form, but they can also
I'm
kind of
just
be like
wondering
ghostly.
if there's an obvious thing that people see it and they would know, oh, that's the spirit of the ocean, as opposed to that's just a random
I think they're
whale.
probably bigger. Like,
Yeah,
are they like
bigger.
really huge whales?
I feel like they would be really big. I feel like they would physically represent the health of the ocean,
Yeah.
right? So like if you have a healthy ocean,
Mm-hmm.
you have this big shiny whale on Vancouver Island. When you're like hiking, you can see like I'm thinking of this like one park you can get like a really high view over the strait kind of thing, and you can see like spouts out in the distance where it's like the blowhole comes up. Like you can't even see the whale, but you can just see the
Yeah.
spout coming up. Kind of thing. It would just be like a super
Yeah.
big spout, and you're like, oh, that's so and so,
Yeah.
spirit of our ocean kind of thing. But if you have like a really poisoned ocean, they maybe are like black and like oozing tar and like have nets wrapped around them or something.
Or like Pirates of the Caribbean, the second one, where it's like when they don't do their job of ferrying the souls, they all get all like barnacle-y and like warped, and like so you could have that too, of like this really like monstrous
exactly.
warped whale covered in
Yes.
like barnacles and sea rot, and when they spout, maybe their spout is like
Black.
discolored or like
Yeah.
full of blood
Yeah.
or something gross. Yeah.
Oh my god, a whale coming up all covered in barnacles spouting blood. It's so gross.
Christiana's nightmares tonight
Yeah.
are gonna be.
I'll report back tomorrow as to how I'm feeling. Right now, not good. I like that idea though. That is really cool. Like as a fan of horror, that to me is like the perfect horror movie.
Yeah.
A literal killer whale. Ooh, crazy.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
Okay, on to the last question, which I think will kind of wrap all of this discussion up rather nicely. What kind of myths are told about them, and what truths or distortions do those myths contain? So, do people tell myths about them, and are they accurate or not? Or a little bit of both?
I think there would totally be the like warping perception of like the whales of like the wrong cause, right? Like, so instead of it like, oh, we've polluted our ocean and so the whale is corrupt, it's the other way around. They're like, oh, these corrupt whales are polluting our ocean.
Oh,
sort
absolutely.
Of thing.
Yeah.
Because people hate taking responsibility for stuff
They do.
and would totally turn it around.
I still like the myth of if you see one, or maybe if one looks at you with its eye or something, you're blessed with good luck. Although maybe that's specifically the healthy one.
Or cursed, if
Yeah.
it's...
The myths also could change per whale, right? Like I feel like the myths that people's
if you
around a
see the
healthy
whale
ocean
of
with
the
a
North
healthy whale.
Sea, it's lucky, or whatever.
The people around it would kind
yeah.
of define the myths
Yeah.
to some extent.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
I
I
think
bet there's a myth
that's-
that the whales can see the future.
Ooh.
And then I don't think that maybe they can, but...
I feel like that's a good kind of like realistic myth in the sense of people would be like the health of your whale predicts the future. So if you see your whale and it's like super unhealthy, you're not going to have a good time, because I feel like so much of mythology is based off of very real world things like that, right? Like if this is happening, it means you're having a bad time. But if you look at it just like from a scientific perspective, you're like, yeah, of course. If you see that thing, you're going to have a bad time because it means that things aren't good.
Yeah.
These whales are scary. I like them.
too.
I like them.
I
do too. They do frighten me, but I do like the idea of if I had a really healthy well nearby and there was really good myths about them, maybe I would stop having so many nightmares about whales.
I bet there's also like a legend of like if you slay the whale, then you
Oh.
control the
Oh,
power of the
yeah,
ocean.
yeah.
And so people would try to like hunt them.
And then you could have a story where that happens, and the person then becomes the whale, and they're now
Yes.
the
a whale.
spirit.
Yeah, very. You could do a very Kafka-esque. I
Yes.
woke up and I was a whale. Sort of
Oh my
thing.
God.
Are we ready to review our whales?
I think we are. So I think we've created a whale. So there's a larger sort of divine being. We haven't defined that larger divine being, but we'll say the creator, so to speak. Put whales in each ocean to sort of be signals of the health of that ocean, that they have some sort of power that will allow them to kind of get their life energy from the health of that ocean. They can control currents. They can speak to the wildlife generally in that area. And to some extent, they can control weather. They can't go so far as to say, way inland, you have a drought. But they can say a fog is rolling in. They can create storms on the sea, whirlpools. They can create a fog on the coast. They can create a tidal wave up to a certain point. Like I said, they kind of feed off of the general health of the ocean. So they operate largely off of instincts. They can communicate to some extent with people who are trying to communicate with them, but it's more so through emotions, maybe flashes of images. It's not necessarily like verbal conversations, be it telekinetic or whatever. The role they play is really to just maintain that balance. They generally don't break the rules. Their rules is to keep the ocean healthy. It's not them breaking the rules. It's the people living around them that might break the rules. When that happens, these whales can become corrupted. Like I said, they represent the health of the ocean that they're in. So they could be covered in barnacles and nets. When they come up, they could spout blood. They're large. They're larger than your average whale. I feel like that's what sets them apart for the people who are living in that area. They can see like a real massive whale, whether it's healthy or not. The myths around them are kind of mixed depending on what society lives around them. Maybe a society with a healthy whale thinks that seeing a whale is a sign of good luck. It's a sign of a prosperous year. Maybe people who see an unhealthy whale think that the whale is the problem, not them. The powers they have, like I said, they can kind of control the weather to some extent. They can create these whirlpools, things like that. But largely they are a reflection of the environment that they're in. if they do feel like it, they could get real petty and pull the fish away from a community. But it really is about the health of the ocean. This is an environmental creature. Did I do that? Did I get it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Huzzah! There, thus is the whale. That was incredible. Thank you so much for that recap. Thank you to our whole team for creating that thing. And thank you to the listeners for listening. As always, everything that we create is fair use, so feel free to take it and implement it in your own story, or just use these questions to build your own sea creature, divine or otherwise. Next episode is going to be a tavern episode, and we are going to be reading Leviathan Wakes, which is a novel not about sea creatures.
Despite the title.
Funnily enough, even though... Despite the title, exactly. So, tune in next time for that, and then for another world-building workshop that we will be doing based on that novel. We hope to see you here again soon, but until next time, scram!
Bye.
Get out of here.